friends, I'm Whitney, your host with Needles Embroidery. Thank you so much for watching today's Needles Chat. So today I'm going to be showing you and talking to you about what fast frames are. And I've had a lot of questions on this, and I just thought that I would present this Needles Chat to you and kind of clear the air on what they are and what kind of machine they can be used on. So fast frames are an alternative to hooping and using your hoop. So instead of hoops like this one, which you have a big space here, but you can actually only use, a portion of this, and sometimes it can be really difficult to get your items in the hoop, or you have to float it or whatnot. Fast frames are an alternative to that, whereas they are just stamped metal. This is all they are. Really simple, just a thin piece of metal that's stamped with a hole in it, and that's basically all that they are. And instead of floating your embroidered design or your item that you need to have embroidered in your hoop, you can actually just float it right on top with your fast frame. And these are a super fast way of getting your item put on and into your machine. It's so much faster for me to use the fast frames than it is for hooping. Now, some things I want it really tight, and so I hoop certain things, but on items like towels and blankets and diaper bags, or something that is really like a small compartment, I would slide this in and I can embroider right inside. Now, the only thing is that they are only designed for 6 needle and 10 needle machines at the moment. I don't know, if you contact fastframes.com, they may be willing to experiment with single needle machines and design some fast frames for single needle machines. I don't know, it's worth a try. When you buy your fast frames, it is going to come with this bracket right here, and the bracket fits inside on a notch on your machine like so, and you just slide it in, clip it, and wait for the notches to peek up through these holes, and then it is secured. There is nothing else back here that holds or fastens to the fast frame bracket, but you do want to make sure that it is in there all lined up and snapped into the notches. Otherwise, it'll be tilted and then it'll mess up your design. The other thing is 6 needle and 10 needle machines do not register that they have a fast frame installed on the machine. So you're going to have to make sure that you put your design using a pre-existing size, like a 5x7 or a 4x4, or you can make your own designs. And I use PE Design Next for my software, and I can design whatever size frame that I want to. And then when you go to your machine, you just have to make sure that your design and your fast frame are moved up so your needle doesn't break on the metal. I've done that. It's sad, especially when you get to the very end of your design and then the needle breaks. So take time doing that. There is a feature on the 6 needle and 10 needle brother machines that I know of that puts a little border around your design, and that way you can stitch that out. It's kind of like a tack down stitch, and or a placement guide, whatever you'd like to call it, but it comes in really handy when using your fast frames. So let me tell you the sizes that I have for the fast frames, and I'm going to start with the smallest and go down to the largest. So for these, I actually don't have the sizes written on the frame, but I use these for like inside of pockets, or like this one that I'm wearing, I could just put it right inside my pocket and stitch right on top. The only thing that would hold you back on embroidering on like small areas or pockets is the arm that's going to be on the machine. You need to have, a good amount of distance, like opening, so your arm doesn't rip a seam or ruin your design. So these are the small ones. They work perfectly for names, and you can turn your design, you know, and work on it like this. So it fits a name perfectly inside that. I use that a lot. And then I have this a medium size, well, I wouldn't call it medium size. Let's call it a small, medium-ish, medium-ish size frame. This is the 135 by 110 millimeter frame, and this is measuring on the inside of the frame, not the outside. So the inside of the frame is 135 by 110. And I actually have labeled this with my label maker. It makes it really easy when you are going to pick these up and you need to know what size or what size to enter in on your design software. So pick up a label maker if you have these. They're perfect. I did try to use like a black permanent marker, but I found that it rubbed off on my embroidery blanks. So you don't want that to happen to you. Just stick with the label maker. Okay, I showed this I showed this frame in one of my videos, and it was how I embroider on soft caps using fast frames. And this is the one that I use is basic curve frame. There's not really a name for it other than the one that I gave it. And there's not a size to go with this, just because it does have that curve, so you don't get it's really hard to measure. Circle designs go really well in here, and I use this for a lot of my like larger pockets when I want to put them on pocket shirts. You know, the pocket tees, they were so popular. And I don't know about you, but I have done my fair share, and I'm kind of glad that that's kind of dropping off and not as popular anymore, because that was killing me making all those pockets. So the next size up is the medium frame, and this is just my go-to for just about everything. It's a 185 by 140 millimeter frame, or a 7.5 by 5.5 frame. So really great size, and this is perfect for those 5x7 applique designs right there. And then my other favorite frame is the 185 by 185 millimeter frame. These are perfect for the 5x7 applique designs, plus the name at the bottom. Who knew that I would use, I use this constantly. And anytime that I'm like, well, I don't know what that's going to fit on, I'll just pick up this. This is my go-to. These two right here. I use them every day, all day long. So like I said, you have to have this bracket, and your frames will actually fit inside like so. And I'll put a little clip right here on how I fasten it in there. But basically, you just lock the notches in place and screw it down. And you don't want to make it really, really tight. If you do that, you may find that your frame kind of goes at a slant like that, and your design won't stitch out as pretty. So you screw it down all the way, and then I back off just a little bit to release all that weight or that tension right there on the top of the frame. Now, there is a right and a wrong way of putting your frame on the bracket, and I'm going to show an up close view of this, but I really hope that you can see this. There is a lip to the design, okay, and this is the top. So your bracket would fit right underneath here, and then it would be level with this bottom part. Okay, can you see that? So when you go to put it in, if you have it upside down, there is going to be a little bit of resistance, but not much. But I've never had a problem with remembering what side's top and bottom, but you can always write on there top and make it easier for you, or put the letter T or something to remind you that this is the top, that's the bottom. But since there is so much sticky back stabilizer on the back of mine, I don't even have to worry about remembering anymore. So speaking of sticky back stabilizer, you will use a lot of it. If you have the fast frames or are considering buying the fast frames, you're going to want to get your sticky back stabilizer. I get mine from njsewingsupplies.com, and it's fantastic. You can get them already like pre-cut, so they would go on these larger fast frames. I get mine in the roll because then I can make them to fit the smaller pieces. Like that would fit pretty much perfect on my frame. So this one was like $28 for the big roll, and I've used a lot already. It lasts quite a few months depending on how much you embroider using your fast frames or sticky back stabilizer. The alternative to that is buying it on the bolt. If you do a lot, you can buy it on the bolt. I bought this. This is from Sulky Sticky Plus, and I loved this stuff until I discovered MJ Sewing Supplies. And this bolt right here was like $170 on Amazon.com. I don't recommend this. I really don't. And the reason why is because I ended up wasting so much of the sticky back stabilizer. It was unreal. The little tiny scraps, you know, because when I would cut it, I'd have to cut all the way across for that one design, and I might only, for that one size, and I might only get one or two pieces of that size, and it just wasn't really practical for me to use this jumbo bolt. It worked for what I needed it to. It lasted me a year, and I still have maybe a yard left of this. There's quite a bit on here. Let me read. 25 yards, and it lasted me a year. So I think that's great. This is 21 and a half inches long by 25 yards. Good. It's good. It worked well for what I needed it to. But I do strongly recommend MJ Sewing Supplies just because they're cheaper and they have good quality, like high quality stuff. You just kind of have to test out what you like and what you enjoy using. I like their brand. So, all right. I forgot to show you one frame, and it is the jumbo size frame, and here it is. I've used this twice. I wish someone told me not to buy this, but you know, when you're dealing with a dealership, they don't really tell you that kind of stuff. They want you to buy everything, and I bought it. I've only used it just a few times, like I said, and yeah, it just sits on my desk, or I mean in storage most of the time. And it was expensive, so if you want to buy this from me, it's for sale. I use this actually to do my burp cloths. I put the name long ways going up the burp cloth because at the time when I was brand new, I didn't know how to move my hoops or move my fast frames down to make like extend the pattern. So I got this because I thought, well, now I could just do it in like one swoop and not have to worry about, you know, moving my fast frame around. But in all actuality, you know, moving your frame is not that hard. So yeah, don't get this if you don't have a reason for it. I mean, you just want it to have it, then go for it, go buy it. And if you have a market for something that has large frames like quilters, this would be great for quilters. I actually haven't learned how to rotate the frame around, like the fast frame around, just because I haven't needed to learn how to use it. But I would love to learn. You know, I'd love to teach myself how to do that and extend that pattern, because this would be great for quilters who are working on really large designs and appliques like on their quilts. Yeah, I think I'm going to turn myself into a quilter now that I've given myself that idea. But anyway, that's what fast frames are. I hope it answered any questions. It is an extra expense to your embroidery machines stuff, but I use them every single day. It was well worth the cost, and I'm in love with them. And I use my fast frames for just about everything. It's just every once in a while I'll use my hoop to hoop things, and yeah, I would never sell any of these other than the larger one ever, because they're such a great addition to my business. If you have any questions, comments, concerns about using fast frames, or where you can get them, or any just whatever general questions, leave your comments in the comment section below, or you can even head over to our Facebook group page, Needles Embroidery, and post your questions there on our page. We have a wonderful group of women who would love to encourage you and help you answer any questions, including myself and Jerry and our other administrator, Regina. If you have current projects that you're working on, or that you just finished a project, please post them. We would love to see what you're working on and congratulate you for a job well done. Or if you are working on a project and you need some tips, tricks, or just questions in general of how to finish it, post it. We'd love to help you answer those questions. Okay, if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. Give me a thumbs up if you like our video on that I posted today. And thank you again so much for watching. I'm your host, Whitney, and I will catch you again next time. Bye!
Alright, so if you missed our last video, go ahead and click on the picture below. It will take you to the video for In the Hoop reusable pads, and I show you how to make these pads from start to finish, and talking to you about the different materials that you'll need for that. So hope you enjoy that, and I will catch you all in the next one. Bye!